There's something uniquely maddening about the lights going out in the middle of cooking dinner, halfway through an email, or just as your kids settle down to do their homework. It's not just the inconvenience, though that's frustrating enough. It's the quiet rage that bubbles up when the electricity dies for the third time in a day, and you realize, again, that your life is being controlled by something completely outside your power. For millions of South Africans, this isn't a one-off frustration or an occasional hiccup in an otherwise stable system. It's daily life, and it's wearing people down in ways that numbers and schedules can't fully capture. The truth is, South Africa's power grid isn't just broken, it's become a kind of prison. It dictates when people can cook, when businesses can operate, when students can study, and when hospitals can function properly. And while politicians throw around phrases like load shedding, as if this is some technical routine, what we're actually talking about is a systemic failure that's holding an entire country hostage to a collapsing infrastructure. There's no other way to put it. The power crisis is breaking the back of this nation. It's crushing small businesses that can't afford backup generators. It's making it impossible for people to work remotely, apply for jobs, or simply keep food from rotting in the fridge. It's pushing families to spend money they don't have on inverters, gas stoves, and emergency lights. And all of it is happening under a government that keeps asking for patience, while delivering nothing but more excuses, more stage numbers, and more empty timelines. What makes it so painful is that it didn't have to be this way. South Africa was once a leader in energy development on the continent, and Eskom, despite all its flaws, was once capable of meeting the country's needs. But decades of corruption, mismanagement, political interference, and sheer neglect have hollowed the system out from the inside. Funds meant for maintenance were siphoned off. Contracts were handed out to cronies instead of competent providers. Power plants were built late, over budget, or never finished at all. And now, with aging infrastructure on the verge of collapse and coal supplies dwindling or poorly managed, the entire system is buckling under its own weight. You don't need to be an engineer to see the damage. You just have to live here. You see it in the traffic lights that stop working during rush hour, turning intersections into chaos. You feel it when your Wi-Fi drops for the 5th time, turning work from home into a joke. You hear it in the hum of generators all over the city, in the desperate chatter of people trying to rearrange their lives around the next scheduled blackout. You see it in the eyes of shop owners closing early, in students falling behind, in hospitals running on fumes. And the worst part, people are adapting. Not because the system is improving, but because they no longer believe it ever will. There's a resignation in the air, the kind that comes when hope starts to feel like a luxury. People now keep their phones constantly charging, learn the rhythm of outages like a second language, and buy candles not for romance or prayer, but for basic survival. Load shedding is no longer an event. It's a lifestyle. This isn't just about electricity anymore. It's about trust, or rather the complete erosion of it. How can anyone trust a government that can't provide the most basic service of modern civilization? How can businesses plan, or students dream, or families build a future when they can't rely on something as fundamental as power? And what does it say about leadership when the people in charge experience none of the suffering they're responsible for causing? Eskom has become a symbol now, not just of a crumbling utility, but of everything that's gone wrong in South Africa's governance. It's a reminder that when corruption is left to fester, when mediocrity is rewarded over merit, and when accountability is reduced to empty press statements, ordinary people are the ones who pay the price. They pay it in lost time, lost income, lost opportunity, and increasingly in lost faith. And no, switching to renewables isn't a magic fix, though it's absolutely necessary in the long term. South Africa has the sun, the wind, and the ingenuity to build something more sustainable. But even that requires political will, infrastructure investment, and leadership that isn't trapped in yesterday's contracts or beholden to outdated coal interests. What's needed now isn't just a better grid, but a better vision, one that doesn't treat people like passive recipients of power cuts, but like citizens who deserve reliability, dignity, and truth. Because the way things are going, people aren't just losing electricity, they're losing patience. They're losing faith in institutions. They're losing belief in the idea that tomorrow might be better than today. And for a country with as much talent, drive, and resilience as South Africa, that loss is even more dangerous than the blackouts themselves. No one should have to live like this. No one should have to organize their life around when the lights will go out. But until leadership stops managing the crisis like a PR problem and starts treating it like the national emergency it is, South Africans will keep suffering in the dark, literally and figuratively.